Anna is on the phone at her house while Emma searches for her charger. Gio hasn't noticed anything and is offering her advice while the dog rushes around with her leash in her mouth. Anna, frustrated, begs everyone to stop because they have a dilemma. Anna claims Outback needs to be walked, but this building does not allow dogs, so walk her so she does not cause a disturbance and gets kicked out. Anna says they need to create a timetable for the dog, including who walks her and who feeds her. She proposes a house meeting tonight, but Emma claims she's working for Dalton. She reveals that she is volunteering in the hopes of getting the job when Joss is eventually dismissed. Dante informs Anna of his discovery. Dante arrives at Anna and Emma's home, where he is greeted by them and Gio. Dante inquires as to his son's well-being. Great. I truly enjoy being here. After Gio and Emma depart for work, Dante asks Anna how awkward and dreadful it was. It was awkward but not horrible. Gio truly had to go to work, she claims. Dante tries to let Gio move at his own rate, but there is now no pace. He's also distracted by the Rocco/Birth/Brit taking Lulu's embryo situation. Rocco is looking at his parents differently now. Wow, that is a lot. But Anna claims he's a good father. Dante moves on and shows footage of the woman Jocelyn had the tracker on. She went to Metro Court where, according to Anna, Professor Dalton is. Anna discusses Emma's expulsion from her previous university, the strange NDA she signed, Dalton's move from that university, and Emma's belief that Dalton is testing on animals. So they, Jocelyn, and the WSB are all related, Dante muses before leaving, vowing to get Anna what she needs. Carly is concerned about Vaughn. At the pool, Joss and Vaughn behave like a couple as she tells him about the tracker making it to Croatia, disappearing, and suddenly reappearing 3 hours later. They talk about if it was detected and disabled to find out who was tracking them. Carly walks in and notices her daughter with Vaughn. She requests to talk with Joss in private in her office. Joss pretends to kiss Vaughn before dealing with Carly's questions. How well does Joss know him? He is too old for Jocelyn. Anyone who is putting her against Emma is worth his attention. It's fine, Joss says. They're not in some strange love triangle. Emma is furious that Jocelyn obtained the position with Dalton, so she tried to make Joss jealous of Vaughn. It's not a big deal. She doesn't want anything serious and is simply having fun. Okay, fine, do that, Carly says. Just tell her if things get serious between them. She's always there to chat to her daughter. Stella wants to meddle in Trina's life. Stella stops by Aurora to discuss why Trina and Kai split up. Curtis is staying out of it, saying it is up to Trina to tell her. Stella is attempting to respect their privacy, but they were made for one another, and this is a tremendous mistake. Sure, he agrees, but their disagreements were too enormous. Stella says that's not good enough. It's time to work on improving family relationships. Or not. Can Willow persuade Michael? Willow tells Michael at the Quartermain house that she came to apologize for being naive about Drew, not to make demands. She did not question anything he said. Michael claims Drew exploited her in more ways than she realizes and informs her about Germany. He would have delighted to see her and learn about the kids. Willow realizes Drew must have gone to the receptionist and destroyed everything. Willow takes it all in as Michael acknowledges that if they'd just seen each other, most of this could have been avoided. She urges him to figure it out now. Just us. No, he answers. It is too late. Willow loses it and tells him they can figure things out outside the court. No go. He doesn't want the kids to see her. What? Willow's meltdown intensifies, making Michael's warning that she's not healthy for his children right now all the more valid. Willow's is going through a lot, but she isn't thinking like a mom. Michael understands what she's going through, but she needs to recover before she can be a mother. I shall not forget this, Michael. She runs out in tears. Jason requests help from Liz. Drew informs Liz that his top priority is to reunite Willow with her children. Cool, Liz says, then leaves her alone. Jason appears before they can get much further, and Drew swears that Jason is following him to keep him away from Willow. Jason says he's here to see Liz, who instructs Drew to leave. Liz tells Jason that Willow just walked out, but he had no idea she was still there. He merely needs her help looking through hospital records to find out where the morgue bodies were sent. That's a big ask. True, he replies, but it's personal, not commercial. Okay, what is the time frame? He predicts 2022 to 2024. Liz gets down to business, opens her laptop, and announces that she needs to do laundry. Jason picks it up and looks up Britt's name. She was transported to Lawrence Mortuary. Liz returns with her laundry, and Jason thanks her before leaving. Emma and Gio arrive to work with Outback, who immediately runs up to Vaughn, who is relaxing by the pool. Emma tries to force Gio to grab the dog, but Vaughn pulls her over before anyone can move. After Gio starts work, Vaughn apologizes for what happened, and Emma assures him that he and Jocelyn are a fantastic match. Drew runs up to Martin at the pool, claiming he knows Curtis informed Willow about him and Nina. Then he notices the offender and Stella taking a seat by the pool. And yeah, he knows it was Curtis. Curtis notices Drew and Stella enthusiastically discussing the rumors regarding Drew and Willow's wedding. Drew approaches and asks for a moment with his former pal. Drew informs Curtis that he's discovered he has too many enemies. Or wants. They've had enough of hurting each other. Truce? Curtis may go for it if Drew turns over his wife's blackmail material. Fine. Truce. In the show's last moments, Curtis snatches Stella from her conversation with Martin regarding the hospital, and Drew rejoins the lawyer. Martin calls Stella a living, breathing angel. Stella, on the other hand, asks her nephew what that man wants. They agreed to a truce. Back at the other table, Martin says he expected pyrotechnics between Drew and Curtis, but it appeared to be friendly. Is Drew evolving? No. He did not declare a truce. He is playing the long game. Michael hurries over to Carly and informs her that Willow come by again, but he declined. She's in no condition to visit the children. Carly agrees, but Michael admits that he saw the old Willow for a brief minute before she returned to flipping out. Will it ever be safe for her to be near the children again? Willow returns home to Liz and tells her about her encounter with Michael, and how everything crashed. She needs to show the world that she is steady and a decent mother. Jocelyn arrives at the pool, speaks briefly with Gio and Emma, and then proceeds to kiss Vaughn. Emma looks them up but assures Gio it's not weird. She had just stolen his campus master key. Jocelyn, meantime, warns Vaughn that Anna is looking into him. Carly can handle her mother, but not Anna. Well, Brennan removed them from the probe anyhow. Steve meets with a woman from the morgue who reviews Britt's file. Her mother made arrangements and picked up Britt's ashes, but wait. Someone failed to provide the date and time of the cremation. But mistakes happen. Thursday, July 31st, 2025. Dante and Anna discuss his children, Carly confronts Joss about Vaughn, and Stella is desperate to reconcile Trina and Kai. Emma searches for her charger while Anna makes a phone call. The dog rushes in, begging to be taken for a stroll. Anna says this cannot happen again. They need to create a schedule for the dog to ensure she is always cared for. Emma explains that she has an appointment with Dalton tonight. She's attempting to stay on his good side so she can take Joss' job when she eventually gets fired. As Gio approaches the door, Dante appears. That is awkward. He meets the dog, and Gio expresses his gratitude to Anna for allowing him to stay. He and Emma leave. Dante asks Anna how horrible it was. She claims he and Gio share a lot in common. Dante has tried to let Gio set the tempo, but there hasn't been any. He reveals that Rocco discovered Britt's role in his birth, which has made matters more problematic. They intended to tell him eventually, but he found out on his own and contacted Albrecht, who was eager to assist. Rocco now looks at his parents with a new level of uncertainty. She's confident he's only trying to protect his sons. They discuss the women Joss planted a tracker on. He received a name, but it's probably an alias. They wonder if Dalton is involved. Anna informs him about Emma's unexplained expulsion, and her link to Dalton. She believes Emma is targeting Dalton again. They guess about all the links. Anna is concerned that Emma will become trapped in a situation from which she cannot escape. She could end up dying. Dante will do everything he can to help. Joss tells Vaughn beside the pool about the 3-hour disappearance of the backup tracker. Carly arrives and sees them together. She interrupts and requests to talk with her daughter in her office. Joss kisses Vaughn and goes with her mother. When they get to the office, Joss wonders why her mother dragged her there. Her mother is not convinced Vaughn is a good guy. Joss is astonished that she is monitoring her personal life. Carly claims Vaughn is too old. Her daughter ignores this. Her mother respects her judgment, but after speaking with Anna, she doubts about Vaughn. They don't like Vaughn putting her and Emma against one another. Joss informs her that there is no strange triangle, and that she and Vaughn are not exclusive. Her mother worries if she is seeking for anything more serious. Joss maintains she is just having fun. Her mother reminds her that she may come to her with anything. Stella confronts Curtis and demands to know why Trina and Kai broke up. He can't explain. Stella has tried to respect Trina's solitude, but she knows the breakup was a huge mistake. Curtis said they have recently realized they have opposing viewpoints on critical issues. She rejects this and recommends they try some repair matchmaking. He does not think that is a good idea. She chooses to do it herself. Willow admits to Michael at the Quartermaines that she was mistaken about Drew. Michael knows her affections for Drew were genuine, and Drew manipulated her the entire time. He says that Drew was the one who stopped her from meeting him in Germany. He would never have turned her away. He believes that if they had met that day, the majority of this might have been prevented. She asks him to talk about the kids. He believes it is too late, but she begs him to work things out so she may see the kids. "I don't want the kids to see you," he informs me. Willow asks how long he will punish her. Michael swears he is not. He only wants the best for his children, which does not include her right now. He understands she is going through a lot, but she is not thinking like a mother right now. He understands she's been burned, but she needs to recover. Crying, she swears that she will never forget how he sent her away when she begged to see her children. Michael runs to his mother's office and describes what had transpired to Willow. He's not sure when she'll be healthy enough to be around the kids again. Drew tells Liz that he merely wants to help Willow reunite with her children. She informs him that if he wants to help, he may back off. She is not in a position where she can deal with him. Jason shows up. The men exchanged glares. Jason is simply there to visit Liz. Drew emphasizes that he only wants to help Willow and advises that Jason persuade Michael to allow her see her children. Jason hopes she finally realizes Drew has damaged her life. When Drew leaves, Liz says that Willow is staying there, and Jason compliments her generosity. He requests to view the documents detailing where the dead from the GH morgue were transferred. She claims she risks losing her work as a result of this. He tells her that this has nothing to do with Sunny and will not affect her. She pulls out her laptop and opens the records, leaving him to search while she does the laundry. He notices Britt was taken to Lawrence Mortuary. When he finds what he was looking for, he thanks Liz. She tells him to be careful, and he leaves. Willow arrives and tells Liz what happened to Michael. She realizes Rick was correct, and she needs to show everyone she is steady. Gio and Emma come to the pool, and the dog immediately runs to Vaughn. Emma asks Gio to get the puppy back, but he refuses. Vaughn comes over with the dog. He apologizes to Emma for what occurred with Joss, but she is confident they will be great for each other. Joss returns and leads Vaughn away. Emma cringes, then informs Gio that she took Vaughn's master key to get access to the lab. Joss informs Vaughn about her mother and Anna's anxieties. He indicates that Brennan seems to be aware of this. He is removing them off the case. Martin and Drew meet, and the congressman informs her that Curtis exposed him to Willow. Curtis and Stella arrive. He's not pleased to see Drew there. She observes his unpleasant expression and begins chatting about the wedding. Drew approaches over and requests a minute with Curtis. Drew explains after she leaves that he has come to realize he has many adversaries. He does not expect them to be friends again, but he does want to declare a truce. He will never consider giving up the blackmail data he possesses on Portia. They all agree. Drew returns to Martin, and the lawyer tells him how much Stella has helped him. She worked wonders to get him insurance coverage when no one else could. Martin notices how civil he was with Curtis. Drew emphasizes that he was not calling a truce. Rather, he was playing the long game. Meanwhile, Curtis informs Stella that he and Drew have reached a truce. Jason goes to the mortuary and discovers that there is no record of Britt being cremated. Jason hadn't stopped thinking about Britt. Even after her sudden leaving and the way their relationship had frayed in the tumult of Port Charles, something about her absence bothered him. Britt wasn't the kind to vanish without a trace unless she had a severe cause. And now, with the latest murmurs from the hospital and the unnerving stillness that had crept over her name, Jason couldn't escape the suspicion that there was more going on than anyone knew. So he began asking inquiries, subtly at first, not wanting to create suspicions. But the more he inquired, the more disconcerting the responses grew. Jason cornered Dr. Randolph in the break room at GH, and she appeared nervous. She responded vaguely and kept gazing at the door, her words hesitant. Britt had requested a leave of absence, she stated, but there were no official records of it. Her locker had been cleaned out, but her ID badge had been left behind. Jason could tell Randolph was covering for someone other than Britt. As he dug deeper, he sought Spinelli's assistance. Within hours, Spinelli discovered digital footprints that had been erased, emails deleted, patient logs changed, and surveillance footage from Britt's last sighting wiped clean. Jason's blood became chilly. This was not just someone going off the grid. This was a cover-up. Someone had made certain that Britt's departure would raise as few questions as possible, and this alone strengthened Jason's resolve. Willow was slipping again. She had tried so hard to remain grounded amidst the stress of her illness, transplant recovery, and Michael's never-ending battle with the Corinthos name. But something inside her had changed. The pain of watching Michael change from the sweet, moral guy she had married to someone more calculating, more like Sonny, was too much. And now, as Wiley grew older and began to question his grandfather, Willow found herself striking out in ways she didn't recognize. The latest outburst had been savage. Michael had arrived late from a meeting with Diane and Dex, visibly irritated. His thoughts were clearly elsewhere. He attempted to play it off, but Willow knew better. She addressed him, asking directly if he was engaged in whatever Jason was looking into. Michael paused for only a moment, but it was enough. Her rage erupted, her anguish spilling out in a torrent of accusations and tears. "You promised me we'd raise our children away from this," she exclaimed, her voice quivering. "You claimed you were done keeping secrets. With lies. I should have known it was never going to happen." Michael didn't argue, just stood there mute, watching her break beneath the weight of everything she'd been holding in for far too long. And the stillness hurt more than words could. Back in his own peaceful storm, Jason followed Britt's track. A secret patient file caught his eye, one that had been locked with admin-only access. With a little help, he broke through and discovered a recent entry entered under Britt's name, a confidential treatment procedure that was not registered on her typical patient list. The only listed subject was Subject A experimental, and the timing corresponded to her final week at GH. Jason felt his heart quicken. He remembered Britt's Huntington's disease anxiety and the way she stared at him the last night they spent together, as if she was racing a clock that only she could see. Was she involved in any underground treatment? Did someone entice her into something risky by promising her hope? He presented his results to Anna, well aware that she would be upset that he was conducting an off-the-books investigation. But when he presented the facts, particularly the manipulated files and missing footage, her face became pale. She agreed to conduct a quiet investigation, but she warned Jason that if Britt was drawn into something illegal or clandestine, the hospital would not be the only one involved. There were reports of medical cartels operating across Europe, unregulated human trials, and fringe experts preying on the desperate. Meanwhile, Willow retreated from the world. She missed Leo's art display at the Quartermain house, stopped responding to Sasha's check-ins, and even told Nina, albeit coldly, that she needed space. Her body had healed, but her emotions had not. It felt like every time she tried to establish anything solid with Michael, it was ripped away brick by brick, by the exact forces she had worked so hard to avoid. The worst thing was when Wiley noticed. One night, while Willow sat calmly reading on the couch, Wiley approached, bearing a picture he had made of a house, a tree, Mommy and Daddy, and a smiling Sonny. He asked her if Grandpa Sonny was returning. Willow froze. She wasn't sure what to say. When Michael returned home that night, she had left no note or text, only her coat and handbag, with the door slightly ajar. Jason's leads eventually led him to a research facility on the outskirts of Toronto. Spinelli tracked down a supply shipment linked to the medicine name and Britt's patient record to that address. It was a slick, high-tech edifice that resembled a tech company, rather than a laboratory. Jason didn't enter through the front door. He surveyed the perimeter, waited for the delivery truck, and then went inside unseen. What he discovered there would change everything. There were no patients, or at least none that were visible. But the rooms were closed, sterile, and loaded with computer panels that monitored vital signs and reaction logs. A name appeared on one of the monitors. Dr. B. Westbourne. It was neither a memory nor a reference. It was current. Active. She had been here before, and perhaps still is. Jason discovered a rear room full of cryogenic storage equipment and medical devices. Photos attached to the wall revealed people he didn't recognize. Were they researchers? Patients? Victims? But he knew one face. Britt. Smiling, she stood in a white coat with her hair pushed back, next to another man who appeared faintly familiar. Jason took a photo with his phone. There was no time to probe deeper. Security was scouring the floor. He exited just before they reached the lower levels. He emailed the photo to Anna, who confirmed that the man was a Swiss doctor who had his license revoked 5 years ago for conducting illegal human studies. He vanished shortly after, and reports circulated that he had gone underground with funds from a secret organization dedicated to extending human life through experimental genetics. Britt had joined them or was forced to. Jason realized Britt wasn't just absent. She was being hidden. Willow returned to Port Charles but not to Michael. She moved into Carly's house instead, citing the need for distance and calm. Carly did not push. She noticed the pain on Willow's face and understood it wasn't simply a quarrel. Years of accumulated pressure had finally exploded. Michael attempted to contact her, but each discussion ended in the same way. Courteous words, frigid expressions, and an increasing stillness between them. Even Brooklyn, who was known for fiercely defending Michael, softly suggested that this could be Willow's method of reclaiming herself. Jason, now armed with enough evidence to justify a full WSB investigation, planned to return to the facility, but this time with support. He was not going to lose Britt again, and if she got caught up in something dark and terrible, he would save her at any cost. Willow, meantime, faced a decision she had long avoided. Whether to continue battling for the version of her life she desired, or to start over completely. Nina, surprisingly, extended a little olive branch, offering to assist with the kids if Willow required breathing space. It wasn't reconciliation quite yet, but it was a rare moment of understanding between them. As the storm over Britt worsened and Willow drifted more away from Michael, the web of secrets and old scars threatened to entangle everyone back in the world they thought they had fled. And in the shadows of Port Charles, the truth about Britt's fate, and the decisions Michael and Willow would make, was just beginning to emerge.